And this again was another very clever writer's device to show the Invisible Man. You see this air pocket attacking Kramer.
But it's different than the rain scene. It's very different because you don't have rain falling, at a speed. You have a stillness of water, and he's moving through it. The impression of a body that's displacing water. And, it's interesting, you try to think about, well, what does that look like?
There is a human-shaped air bubble, but through the front, when you look through, on the back side, you see the negative form of the air bubble. If you look at him, you would see the structure of his neck, of his back, of his head, whatever.
There are no invisible men we have to reference, so we have to make it up anyway. But you can start out with kind of a scientific or technical kind of an approach. Some of the things that we've done towards that are get props, and we took some and created some plastic hands, for instance. These were used to put underwater and create an actual displacement and look at what the refractive or reflective qualities might be. So you can kind of put this over a person and say, oh, look at how much it distorts or it doesn't distort. So we go through a lot of actual practical type testing to kind of work some of this stuff out.
To shoot it, that was not so complicated because it's like an action scene.
And action.
And then would say, okay, now let's do the same thing. Camera moves the same thing without the actors. So we would have the water behind them. But that doesn't work so well because water is not steady. When you have two swimming people, the water is fluctuating and is moving around. So when you do it another time, the water is sort of standstill, looks completely different.
We would also shoot bubble passes. We knew that we were going to need lots of bubbles to help integrate this guy into the scene, and that there would be bubbles behind him when they were fighting. Big exhalation bubbles, small little bubbles that are close to the camera. We'd also do the same thing when we broke the surface of the water. We'd park the camera and start making a bunch of splashes so that when the Invisible Man was splashing, we could add splashes that you would see through him. So there were, say, on average, 5 different passes of actual photography required just to start the whole process. So the animators had a real challenging job. They were basically trying to match a live-action human. Another interesting aspect, after the animators had gotten their puppet to the correct performance and we felt confident there, we have the effects animators. Their job is to create either smoke or underwater bubbles, any number of different elements that are also keyed specifically to the performance. So ultimately, yeah, we hope nobody notices what we did.